Hello everyone, Aaron here with Canyon Adventure Vans, and today we're going to do another installation video. Today we are installing the rear easy out awning, specifically for the Revel stock roof rack. So let's get into it. The tools you're going to need to install this are the following. Should be an included Allen key with your set. You're going to be using that. You're going to want to use a 1/2 inch socket on a ratchet or a wrench. You're going to want a measuring tape with you. Highly recommend and suggest Loctite for the bolts that we're putting into the roof rack. So we're gonna meet you guys back up on top of the van. We're gonna show you how we install this on the Revel stock roof rack. All right, so now that we're up here on the van, we're gonna get started. First, you can grab your Allen key that's included in your kit and come over to these button head screws here. Take off the bolt and the T-nut and just set these somewhere safe on top of the AC. You have a cup, anything to kind of hold these. So we're going to take off all 4 of these, set them down. You can actually separate them from the T-nuts here because we're going to be using those first. Okay, so now we're going to take our 1/2 inch socket on our ratchet or a 1/2 inch wrench if you have it, and we're just going to start on one side. We're going to take off this bolt here so that we can access the inside of this slot and put our T-nuts in there. So we'll go ahead and loosen this up. Set that here safely. We're just going to gently push this out. We're going to slide this existing T-nut out for now. Put that back in a sec, but we're just going to take that out. Now we're going to slide in our T-nuts and do it with the side that's protruding out of the T-nut. We're going to put that down in the slot. So we'll go ahead and feed these in. We're going to do 2 on this side. Then we're gonna slide back in that existing T-nut that started in there. And you can use your Allen key that's included to move these T-nuts around if you need. So I'm just gonna kind of scoot this over so that I can stick my bolt back in there. And we'll take this factory bolt, put that back in there. And you know what? While we have it, we'll go ahead and put on some Loctite on this just to keep things nice and tight. Go ahead and put that back in there. Get it started by hand, make sure it's not cross-threading. And then we'll go ahead and tighten that up back to as tight as it was, or tighter if it was loose for any reason. And then yeah, so now we have those 2 T-nuts in there. We're good to go on that side. Now we're gonna repeat the process on this side. So same thing, just taking off this factory bolt here, putting that to the side, pulling this out gently, grabbing this T-nut out, putting our T-nuts in with the protruding side facing down. Put the factory T-nut back in. Use our Allen key to get it perfectly below the hole that the bolt needs to go through. Throw a little bit of Loctite on this guy. Right down the center into that T-nut. Start it by hand, make sure it's not cross-threading. And then go in for the kill with our ratchet here and tighten it back up. And that's it for that step. Now our T-nuts are in there and we're ready to receive our awning. So we'll go ahead and get this on in the next step here. So our next step is going to be laying this over the top and putting our bolts into these T-nuts that we laid in there. To make things a little easier, I'm going to go ahead and Loctite these bolts now. That way I'm not trying to put Loctite on while I'm holding it and all that fun stuff. So we'll go ahead and just put a nice generous little blob on each one of these bolts so that they're ready to go and thread right in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And you can kind of like lay this over the top first and get your, your T-nuts lined up with this. But really what I'm gonna do is just lay it down there, hold it right here in the center, and move it side to side as I need. So there we go. Logo should be the right side to where you can read it down below. And I'm just setting it right over the top of those T-nuts. And I just need to line up one hole with one T-nut at this time and get that one started. And as long as I can get a few threads on there, I know I'm safe. And I can switch hands here and do the same thing over here. So as you can see I can slide this, and I'm really just lining up this hole on the bracket with that T-nut and then threading this bolt in. And once you get 2 in, you're pretty safe to be able to let go. Wouldn't hurt to just stay safe and get all 4 of them started before you let go of this. But so I'll just move it here a little bit more to get this 3rd bolt in. And if the bolt's a little slippery or not really wanting to go in, you could grab your Allen key and kind of thread it with that. And you're trying not to get them too tight because you still do need to slide this, but you don't want them too loose to where it's gonna fall out. So we'll get our 4th one in here, and I'll show you how to center it up. All right, so with all 4 of them started in there, like I said, loose enough to where we can still scoot this side to side. See, I need to loosen them up just a little bit so I can still slide it. So there we go. So now I can slide it back and forth. All right, next I'm going to show you how to center it up so it's perfectly centered with your van and your doors. So when you open it up, it looks perfect and it fits perfect between your 2 doors there. All right, so the next step, like I said, we're going to go ahead and center this up. On the back, you might not be able to see it from that angle, but there's the plate that's basically holding the awning onto the bracket. That plate there happens to be 55 inches wide. So we're gonna figure out what half of that is. I've already done the math for you guys. It's 27.5. So what we're gonna do is hook our measuring tape to this side of that plate back there. And on your running light panel back here, you got 3 lights that are on top of this roof rack bar. That center light is basically gonna be the center of your van. It's centered up with this camera. So we're just gonna center our 27.5 mark on this measuring tape with that light. And what you'll probably find is it's pretty much gonna be as far over as you can go until your bracket's hitting this over there. It's about like 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch shy, depending on your van. So if you're a perfectionist, you can really get this centered up with this light. If you want to get it done quickly, you can really just slide this all the way over to here until it stops and call it a day. But yeah, so that's centered up there. It looks good. Now we're gonna grab our Allen key and hit these 4 button head screws and really just tighten that into the roof rack, and then we're all done. So I'll go ahead and do that now. And I'm on top of the van because I'm a rock crawler, crazy CrossFit maniac monkey man, but I don't see why you couldn't do this maybe a little safer and a little more comfortably off to the side of the van with a 10-foot or 12-foot ladder or something like that. If you feel like getting up here and you have a ladder, a means of getting up here safely, feel free, but I really do feel like you could do this same process off to the side or the back of the van. All right, all 4 of those are tight. We are all done here. Thanks for watching, guys.